Aloha. So I'm presenting you my family's chart, the history of Courtney in relationships, of her marriages. So I'm gonna start with my birth chart here. Was born on July 27th, the morning after the release of Enter Dragon, starring Bruce Lee, a week after he died. So, Sun in Leo, and Moon in Cancer. Sun at 4 degrees, Moon 5 degrees, the Moon right next to Saturn at the very end of Gemini, and by the South Node, also with Mercury in Cancer, the cool sign of nurturing, and my ascendant in Libra, the way my boat floats. My ascendant here, I have Uranus and Pluto in Libra in my 12th house and 11th house respectively. They're not quite lined up well perpendicularly as it should. I do have my Sun in the 9th house with Mercury, the Moon, and Saturn at the cusp, 8th and 9th house. So Uranus in my 12th house makes my ideas kind of quiet. I keep them for myself, best of them. And opposite that, I have Mars in Aries, the sign it rules. Mars rules Aries, accompanied with Chiron, the wounded healer, bring some refinement in the body. Also, as my ascendant in Libra, the ruler of Libra is Venus, and my Venus is in Virgo, the sign of service. Opposite my Sun, I have Jupiter, and that Jupiter in Aquarius makes me want to tell the whole world, not about me, but about important things. My Neptune, perfect trine to my Sun in Sagittarius. But not just an opposition I have here, also a T-square with Mercury. Also have a square between my Moon and Pluto, the planet of fears. And 3 years later, not too far away in the world, just a few hundred miles south, Paul was born, and his Sun was at 3 degree Leo, 2 degree Leo, sorry. His Moon was at 3 degree Cancer, and his ascendant at 26. My ascendant is at 29 degrees, 4 degree Leo Sun, and 5 degree Cancer Moon. Pretty close, but very different people. Is ascendant in Libra, how his boat floats, puts his Uranus in his first house, So he straight up attacks the excitement of Uranus in Scorpio. Scorpio, you know what it is, the dark sign. Also has his North Node in Scorpio. That's where we wind up. We start in the South Node, we wind up in the North Node. His Uranus is opposite his Mercury. Like many people back in those years, it lasted a long time, that opposition, Uranus and Chiron. But his is also in a perfect square with his Sun in Leo. So it was kind of hard for Paul to be a Leo. Also having Saturn right next to the Sun, it brings more challenges, but refinement, precision. And Mercury and Venus were also perfectly lined up at 12 degree Leo, bringing a lot of love to his communication. And all of these planets are very expressive. Even Saturn expressing the challenges, how hard it is. His Mars in Virgo over here kind of puts his physical body into efficient action. His Pluto is in Libra, like many other people born between the early 70s and the early 80s. And also his Neptune in Sagittarius, also a slow planet. Is Jupiter in Taurus. Taurus being a square sign to Leo does not really affect his Sun too much. It's almost a sextile, a little bit more than a sextile. But not a quintile. Not quite. Between his Saturn and Jupiter, yeah. More. Close. And then Courtney, the main character of our story here, came along and she was born on the first day of March 1980, and her moon just a little bit past the full moon, actually a little bit past a lunar eclipse, because the north nodes are very close. Node is at 29 degree, north node 29 degree Leo, and 29 degree for the south node in Aquarius. So Courtney also has her Mercury in Pisces, 19 degrees, and her Venus in Aries at 24 degrees in the 6th house, Paul's 6th house, but by his descendant, the That is the stern of the boat, part of the boat where we wait for somebody else. We wave behind. But in the 6th house, not the 7th. Mars is close in opposition to her Sun in Virgo, and also Jupiter right there, 3 degrees and 4 degrees. 3 degree and 4 degree. Mars 3 degree, Jupiter 4 degree. Virgo. And her Saturn at 24 degree Virgo. Uranus also in Scorpio. Uranus took about 7 years to travel through Scorpio, as it does through every signs. Neptune, the planet that rules Pisces, is at 22 degree Sagittarius, which is in a T-square with her Mercury and Saturn. Her Pluto is at 21 degree Libra, opposite her Venus. And her Chiron is in Taurus at 10 degrees. Her ascendant, she chose to be born, is when you choose to be born, I believe, is at 20 degree Scorpio, and descendant 20 degree Taurus. Sorry. The midheaven at 1 degree Virgo. And the Imam Kueli, the bottom of the sky, at 1 degree Pisces. So this is the couple of Courtney and Paul together. A very close double, how you call that, quintile, and the Uranus and his moon, Courtney's Uranus. So for Courtney and Paul, they both shared Uranus and Scorpio in their first house. So they are both charging forward at the excitement of Uranus, but in the first house, so they're kind of displaying that scorpionic attitude of self-destruction. And they also both share Mars in Virgo. And together they had a few kids. Started off with Angelina the day before Christmas. Christmas Eve at 2° Capricorn. Moon also in Capricorn at 23 degrees. 23° Capricorn, just after the new moon. Mercury also in Capricorn at 7 degrees. Venus 4° Aquarius, close to a straight opposition to her dad's sun. And Saturn and Mars at 4° Aries, which is in perfect square with her Sun in Capricorn. And her Jupiter in Virgo, like her mom, but hers is close to her mom's moon at 17 degrees. Her Saturn at 12° Cancer, close to an opposition to her Mercury, just like her mom's. Saturn-Mercury opposition, which I believe makes good readers. Uranus at the very end, the 29th degree of Aquarius, by her mom's south node. Neptune also in Aquarius, about halfway at 11 degrees Aquarius, and Pluto at 20° Sagittarius, close to her mom's Neptune. And Chiron is in Capricorn, yeah, at 17° Capricorn. And her North Node in Taurus, my mom's descendant, at 21 degrees, or 19 degrees, sorry. 19 degrees, and South Node in Scorpio, again by our mom's ascendant, 19 degrees. The nodes is the way we go from where we came from to where we're gonna go, where we're gonna wind up. So let's put Pisces on the ascendant for Angelina, halfway at 15 degrees, and descendant in Virgo, for midheaven at 20° or 19° Sagittarius. So she has her Pluto on her midheaven. Her career, vocation can be scary. This Pluto is a planet of fears. So her Imamkueli, bottom of her sky, the keel of the boat is down here in Gemini. And her ascendant here in Pisces. So that's how our boat floats. Most of her planets, important planets, are in her 10th house from her midheaven, starting with Pluto and her Sun that is in Capricorn, and Mercury and Chiron. Not sure about the Moon, might be in the 11th house. Yep. So these planets in Capricorn are her vocation planets, her career. As for Jupiter, in relationships, it's very important for her in Virgo. So having all those planets in Capricorn, including the Moon, she was also born the year of the goat. So she was born with those planets in Aquarius, which are opposite her dad's Sun, Saturn, Mercury and Venus, precisely. Opposition is not such a bad thing. Just reminds you of what you really are, make you worth what you are. And her Sun also opposite her dad's Moon, and close to an opposition of her dad's Sun to her Moon. Close. As Courtney, she was born on just past the full moon. And before Abram was born, it was a tragic event. But since Abram wasn't completely born yet, I'm gonna put his color not quite red for this part of his chart. So Abram was born stacked in the middle of Sagittarius, Sun at 14 degrees. His Moon in Cancer, like his dad's. Close to a full moon just before at 9 degrees by Angelina's Saturn. His Mercury in Scorpio, close to his mom's ascendant and Uranus. His Venus in Sagittarius at 24 degrees, close to his mom's Neptune and his sister's Pluto, and by his own Pluto, because his is at 26 degrees Sagittarius. Oh, makes a backflip. So Venus and Pluto together in Sagittarius. Kinda crowded in Sagittarius already. And Abram's gonna add up his Mars at 0 degree entering Sagittarius, and Jupiter had just entered Sagittarius not long before at 3 degrees. His Saturn is in Leo, 25 degrees. His Uranus right stack where his mom's Sun is at 10 degree Pisces. His Neptune, the ruler of Pisces, is in the middle of at 17 degree Aquarius. His Chiron is right by his sisters. But right by his sister's Venus, opposite his dad's Sun, and by his dad's Imam Kueli down in his dad's fourth house. And his north node, he's also gonna wind up in Pisces at 21 degree Pisces by his mom's Mercury. And the south node down here, 21 degree Pisces by his mom's Saturn. And his ascendant is also in Pisces at 3 degree Pisces, kind of by his mom's bottom of the sky, Imam Kueli, the keel of the boat, and his descendant at 3 degree Virgo by his mom's Mars and Jupiter. His midheaven is also in Sagittarius, like his sisters. His is earlier at 10 degrees. So he puts his sun in his 10th house, just like his sister. Put himself in the position of career, his ascendant this way, his boat floats this way. So in his 9th house, the Sagittarian house, he has Mars and Jupiter, the ruler of Sagittarius, and also has Mercury in its 9th house, but his Mercury is in Scorpio. So Abram also has a big T-square. So 3 years later, Courtney pops up with Abram and Angelina, and they're best friends. And come meet me. So I'm gonna set up Courtney's chart here. Her sun at 10 degree Leo, 10 degree Pisces, sorry. Her moon almost in opposition, just a little bit past the full moon in Virgo. Her Mercury 23 degree Pisces, which is close to a trine to my Mercury in Cancer. Her Venus at 24 degree Aries, right by my Mars at 22 degrees. Her Mars at 3 degree Virgo, same degree as my Venus, 3 degree Virgo. As with her Jupiter, it's important to her, 4 degree Virgo. Saturn also in Virgo, 24 degrees. Uranus in Scorpio, 25 degrees. 22 degree Sagittarius for her Neptune. Her Pluto is at 22 degree, right by my Uranus. My Uranus at 19 degrees. Comes to destroy my ideas. Chiron at 10 degree Taurus, close to a square to my Sun, but not quite. And my Jupiter, more so my Jupiter than my Sun. Her node at the very end of Leo, where Regulus is, and her south node at the very end of Aquarius, her ascendant at 20° Scorpio, and descendant 20° Taurus, her midheaven 1° Virgo, and Imam Kuali 1° Pisces. So here is us two as a couple, but unfortunately we never been a couple of a man and a woman alone. Angelina and Abram were always there to begin with. So Abram, started with Angelina here. She went 2°, a little greener in at 2° Capricorn, close to opposition to my moon and Saturn. And her moon in Capricorn also at 24°, which is in a square angle with our relationship Mars-Venus in Aries and Uranus-Pluto in Libra. Her Mercury 7° Capricorn, right, stack a line with my North Node in Capricorn. Her Venus at 4° Aquarius, in a straighter opposition to my Sun at 4°, and her own Sun, her own dad's Sun. Sorry. Her Mars at 4° Aries, which is a good third leg for the trine between my Sun, my Neptune, and her actions, her Mars physical side. Her Jupiter by her mom's moon, her Saturn close to my moon, Uranus is at 29° Aquarius, Neptune at 12° Aquarius, her Pluto at 20° Sagittarius, Chiron 17° Capricorn, her North Node at 20° Taurus, South Node 20° Scorpio, her Ascendant in Pisces at 15°, her Descendant 15° Virgo, and her midheaven is up at 19° Sagittarius, and Imam Kweli 19° Gemini. Alright, so this is Angelina, and now we have Abram, who was there, not even 3 years old when we met. His Sun in the middle of Sagittarius, his moon in Cancer, 4° away from my moon, his Mercury at the very end of Scorpio, helping almost a third leg of grand trine between our Mercuries, Courtney, mine, and his. Which is not as ideal as we could think. His Venus and Pluto, 24 and 26 degree Sagittarius respectively, are very close opposition to my Saturn in Gemini. So the lessons I have to bring are make their Pluto react, and Abram's feminine side, and Angelina's fears and Pluto, and also Courtney's Neptune, which is also in a square. Our Saturn are square angle to one another, Courtney and I. It makes it hard to be serious to one another, and we have her Mercury, the fourth leg of this Grand Cross. Abram's Mars, 0 degree Sagittarius, and his Jupiter at 3 degree Sagittarius, pretty close to my Neptune, which is trine to my Sun. His Saturn, 25 degree Leo. Trying to be a good example of a Leo to Abram, so he can learn what it is to be one, a leader. Uranus. His Uranus is right by his mom's Sun in Pisces, 10 degree Pisces, and his Neptune is 17 degree Aquarius, the ruler of Pisces. So a generation of Neptune in Aquarius, they believe that they know everything. Aquarius knows everything, and Neptune is the belief system. Is Chiron at 4 degree Aquarius, wounded healer, straight opposition to my Sun in Leo. His North Node is at 20 degree Pisces or 21 degree Pisces. South Node, 21 degree Virgo. His Ascendant is also in Pisces, 3 degree Pisces. Descendant, 3 degree Virgo, right where my Venus is. And his midheaven up here is at 9 degree, 10 degrees. And Imam Kuali down in Gemini. So that's the relationship we had before we were married, only the 4 of us together. And we were expecting another person to come along. So we decided to get married. Is it a hasteful decision? Hasteful, in a hurry? Because Aries is in the air. Aries is occupied by Aries over here is occupied by Uranus, Jupiter, and Mercury. And the Sun was just before the beginning of the spring equinox, on the 19th of March, of 2011. And Mars was also in Pisces with the Sun, and Chiron just entered Pisces. Neptune was making his last wishes in Aquarius, with Venus in Aquarius. Pluto was going over my North Node, precisely, and Angelina's Mercury. And the moon was just past the exact full moon at 2 degree Libra, right on my Pluto, my planet of fear. Saturn is also in the middle of Libra, close to my Uranus. And the ascendant was in Leo by my Sun. That important part of the sky that we're going to be seeing a little bit more later on. And the North Node was also at the very end of Sagittarius, the escaping sign, the eventualities of this marriage, the escape. And in the 7th house was Venus. But in Aquarius is a very odd sign for Venus. So the dominated part of the sky is down this way. In Aries, the sign of fight. And in that sign which Courtney loves and I physically rule, with Mars ruling Aries, and Chiron, my Chiron there. So for us too, it's an important sign, and it kind of is for Angelina too, having her Mars there, even though all of her Capricorn planets square the Aries. So but those three, Mercury, communications, and joys, and excitement, are all about fighting. Alright. A few months after we got married, along came Odola, our first child together, my first born child. And just before she was born, as we were kind of expecting that date, I was suggesting her silently, next to her mom's belly, to wait until July 27th at 3 o'clock for the moon to enter Cancer on that year. The moon was in Cancer just like the year I was born, on July 27th, because it doesn't happen every year the same. But on that year I told her at 3 o'clock, wait for that. And I explained to her the differences between the moon in Taurus with the sun still in Cancer, then the moon in Gemini with the sun in Leo, and then the moon in Cancer with the sun in Leo. So she would understand, all silently. And then she was born July 27th at 3 o'clock, 3:15. Her moon at 0 degree Cancer at the very beginning, with her Mercury loud and clear in Leo by Regulus, the ruling star, Her Venus in very 29 degree, very end of Cancer, close to our suns in Leo. Her Mars at 25 degree Gemini by my Saturn. Her Jupiter at 8 degree Taurus, which is square to my Jupiter, which my Jupiter is already opposite my Sun, so it makes her Jupiter square to my Sun and her own Sun at 8 degree Taurus. Her Uranus at 4 degree Aries in a perfect trine to her Sun in Leo, and right by Angelina's Mars, which is also the third leg to the grand trine with my Neptune here, also with Abram's Jupiter and Mars, and you can include his Mercury in there too, and might as well include Odala's Venus in there too. Her Saturn at 12 degree Libra. Her Neptune just entered Pisces at 0 degree Pisces. Pluto at 5 degree Capricorn, right by Angelina's Sun, and straight opposite to my Moon and her own Moon. So Odala has her Moon opposite her Pluto, and I have my Moon square to my Pluto, and her Moon's also square my Pluto. And we have our Pluto squared Libra to Capricorn. Her Chiron is at 3 degrees or 5 degrees, yeah, 5 degree Pisces, opposite my Venus by her Neptune, opposite her mom's Mars and Jupiter by Abram's ascendant. Her North Node is at Sagittarius at, hold on, (22 degrees Sagittarius, sorry. Yeah, 22 degrees Sagittarius, right on her mom's Neptune, and her Mars is also by her South Node in Gemini. Her Ascendant is in the Sagittarius at 11 degrees Sagittarius, right by her brother Abram's sons, his son, not his sons, his son, 11 degrees Sagittarius. And her descendant, 11 degree Gemini. Her midheaven is at 17 degree Virgo, lined up with her mom's Moon and sister Angelina's Jupiter. And the Imam Kuali, 17 degree Pisces, 17 down here. Alright, and then another 3 years went by, and we're expecting another baby, and try to influence him like I did with Odala to be born with the moon maybe in Cancer or so, but try to avoid Mars in Scorpio. But he didn't listen, and when in the middle of Leo with his Mercury, and the moon went way past opposite my moon at 11 degree Capricorn. His Venus is a bit by my Mercury, and his sister Odala's Mercury in Cancer. His Mars didn't listen, so it went all the way to 7 degree Scorpio. And Jupiter, his Jupiter was stacked on my Sun and Odala's Sun at 5 degree Leo. His Saturn was also in Scorpio at 15 degrees Scorpio, square to his Sun and Mercury. And Mars is also square to his Jupiter, unlike his mom, which have them together, and Abram has them together. Atlases are square angle. So he's not going to have that same kind of strength as Abram and Courtney, but Mars rules Scorpio and all that Leo power. And when he was going to be born, 2 hurricanes were expecting to hit here. So he showed us that he was Atlas, deflected one to the north, and deflected, that was Julio to the north, and deflected Isel to the south, which was the first hurricane in history that hit the Big Island here. And we were spared down in this valley thanks to Atlas, who was born, holding up the sky for us and stopping the storm. His Uranus at 16 degree Aries, also in a trine to his Sun and Mercury, just like his sister Odala has her Sun trine, perfect trine to Uranus. Atlas's Neptune is also in Pisces at 5 degree Pisces. My Odala's Chiron. And Atlas's Pluto is kind of important because the moon went 1 degree past it. So for him, his emotions are, he has him hiding something in the sign of Capricorn, the sign of government and business. His Chiron in Pisces, Chiron at 16 degree Pisces, about where her sister Angelina's ascendant is. Atlas's North Node at 21 degree Libra, close to Arcturus, which in Hawaiian is called Hokulea, and South Node 21 degree by my Mars and Uranus opposition, and also Courtney's Venus Pluto opposition. And his ascendant wants to be a little lazier, is at 23 degree Taurus. He wants to slow down and touch the earth Descendant 23 degree Scorpio. So it's almost a straight opposition to his mom's descendant axis. And his midheaven is in Aquarius at 11 degrees. His Imam Coeli 11 degrees, which puts his sun in his fourth house, his sun and Mercury, which is his home. So he keeps himself more at home. Oops, this way. So his boat floats. Hold on. So his ascendant in Taurus, but his sun down here is in his fourth house. In his third house, he has Jupiter and Venus. So his third house is a house of the twin, is important to him, and there's a lot of love going on, and you'll see kind of why the Geminarianism of Atlas is happening. All right. And did we talk about Odala's ascendant? So Odala, she puts her ascendant is you put. So and Odala put her own sun in the 8th house, the house of fears. So, and self-destruction. So, her own self, she doesn't put herself in a good place. But, doesn't mean she's a bad person. She has other qualities. So, two years later, as Atlas needed a twin, Axis came along, and I was trying to influence Axis to be born without Mars in Scorpio like his brother Atlas. To try to wait till Mars gets into Sagittarius on August 2nd. So, but Axis was a little bit more wise than my own suggestion, and he waited a little longer till the 12th instead of the 2nd. Chose the 12th of August to be born, the day after we moved out of Waipio. And his moon went all the way up to an important part of the sky at 21 degree Sagittarius by his mom's Neptune, his Abram's Venus and Pluto, Angelina's Pluto, Odala's North Node, where it's happening up there. And his Mercury in Virgo is at 17 degree, right by Angelina's Jupiter. Axis's Venus is at 9 degree Virgo, close to my Venus, and his mom's Jupiter, Moon, Mars, all in Virgo. His Mars, he was wise enough to wait for Mars to get out of Scorpio and to go past Abram's Mars and to reach my Neptune, which was my channel of communication with him, is where his body followed. 4 degree Sagittarius. His Jupiter is precisely by his mom Saturn. So where Courtney says stop, Axis makes an important statement that it should still be going on. His Saturn is in square angle to the sign of Virgo at 12 degree Virgo by his brother's sun, brother Abram's sun, and between his own moon and Mars in Sagittarius. So he knew to wait up until then, at that moment. Sagittarius is the sign of escapism, is when our family escaped from YPO. And his Uranus, like his brother Atlas and his sister Odala, is in a trine to his sun, also trine to his own moon. So he has that grand trine, Uranus, moon, sun in fire signs, right by his mom's Venus and his dad, me, Mars, Chiron, over here. And my 3 children have their Uranuses opposite the sign my Uranus is in. Uranus goes around every 84 years, so I was around 42 when I had them all, between 38 and 43. Neptune for Axis is at 16 degrees Pisces by Atlas's Chiron. His Pluto is also in Capricorn, like his brother and sister Odala and Atlas. His is like 17 degree, right where Angelina's Chiron is. His Chiron, Axis's Chiron, is also in Pisces at 21 degree Pisces by his mom's Mercury, and close to Angelina's ascendant. And the North Node for Axis are in North Node in Virgo is at hold on, North Node for Axis 13 degree Virgo, close to the middle by his mom's moon, and close to his mom's node too, but hers is in at the end of Leo. And his south node, so busy here, 13 degree Pisces, and his ascendant is in Pisces. So he was born precisely in this axial space at 0 degree Pisces, so putting his Neptune in his first house, which rules Pisces, and his descendant at 0 degree Virgo. His midheaven is at 8 degree Sagittarius by Abram's midheaven too. So he has his Saturn in his 10th house. See how his boat floats. And his Imam Kueli at 8 degree Gemini down here. So Axis's boat He has Neptune and Chiron in his first house. He's in yellow. Neptune and Chiron in his first house. And his sun, he has his sun in the sixth house, the house of service. It's the only planet he has in Leo is his sun. So his own pride, he puts it to service. And his planets in Virgo, the sign of service, he has North Node, Venus, Mercury, and Jupiter in Virgo. They are in his seventh house. In his seventh house, the house of relationships and beauty. As for his Mars, is in Sagittarius, but it's also in the ninth house. So his physical actions are to get out of trouble, no matter what. He gets out of the squeeze from his brother. So this is our whole family that is now about to divorce, sorry to say. But we can see all the groupings that are heavy and the mutable signs of Pisces, Virgo, Gemini, and a little bit in Gemini, but a lot in Sagittarius, and a lot in Virgo, and a lot in Pisces. And we see the Leo family here, which is different than the other part of the family. And we also see that we have a sequence of Saturn in every sign, starting with my Saturn in Gemini. And we have Angelina's in Cancer, Abram's in Leo, Courtney's in Virgo, Odela's in Libra, and Atlas's in Scorpio, and ending with Axis's in Sagittarius. And they cover half of the sky, close to a precision, that half of the sky. And those Saturns don't all go together. We have a clash between Courtney's and my Saturn as a couple. It's no fun. Between the girls, Odela at 12 degree and Angelina is at 12 degree, Libra and Cancer. This is over here. And Abram and Atlases are not in a square angle, but they're square signs. And also Axis and his moms are not squared either, but they are in a squared sign, Sagittarius to Virgo. We have generations, the two generations, Abram and Angelina. They have their Pluto in Sagittarius and their Neptune in Aquarius. As for the other generation of Odela, Atlas, and Axis, they have their Pluto in Capricorn and their Neptune in Pisces, also their Chiron in Pisces, and also they have together their Uranuses in Aries. Because Angelina and Abram don't share the same Uranus sign, and they don't share the same Chiron sign either. So these are all small generations that are noticeable. As for my generation of Uranus and Pluto in Libra was a short generation, didn't last very long, is different than the generation of Uranus in Scorpio and Pluto in Libra. That's another different generation. But Neptune in Sagittarius, we share, my wife and I was a long generation of 14 years. And the Chiron, we have different Chirons. Chiron went a long time through Aries, and a little bit less long time through Taurus. So this is pretty much our family chart, the way it flows. You can see the perfect 144 degree from 10 degree Pisces, which is Courtney's sun, to 4 degree Leo. If you make 144 degree, you wind up at the same place. The 5-pointed star, a bit like the pattern of Venus. And we were raising 5 children together. But we don't do that anymore, sorry to say. So this is my story, my family. As an astrologer, I'm kind of proud of this this whole, could say an example, but let's see about everybody else's chart. Send me your birthdays and we'll see about your family, how you get along, how you clash, how you are together or not. Thanks for listening. Aloha.